Today I will ride 100 kilometers on the cheapest bike I can find. If I don't make it in 7 hours, I will be disqualified and have to tattoo D on my hand. Trust me, I really don't wanna do that. Let's go back a week. I woke up and decided to do bike marathon. Luckily there will be 100-kilometer race this week, so I quickly signed up. But there is one problem, I don't have a bike. So let's find the cheapest one. I scrolled marketplace a bit and what do we see here? Some crabs that would not even survive 30 kilometers. Then I realized there is old bike sitting in the garage that no one used for years. Looks like I got a bike for free, but it definitely needs some service. So I pumped the tires, adjusted seat and handlebar and washed off years of dust. Technically it's ready to ride, but I decided to modify it a bit. Looks alright, but I guess something is missing. Now it's a real Hercules. But even after all those changes, there are still plenty of issues. The drivetrain does not shift half the gears. On bumps it feels like the bike is falling apart. And even without all the junk I removed, it's still heavy as hell. So can I ride 100 kilometers on this bike? I don't know. To have at least some chance, I decided to do a 25-kilometer test ride. It will show if I can handle 100 kilometers. If not, I will be stuck with cock on my arm. I hit start on my watch and let's go. Wow, nice view. That saddle is like sandpaper for my butt. I only made 5 kilometers. Man, I thought I did at least 10. Riding this bike is rough. Some gears don't work, so every hill sucks. Finally some downhill. After a few kilometers I reached a small town. Finally no wind, no cars, just perfect. Yeah, bike lane. That's why I don't like bike lanes. There is always someone walking here. After about 12 kilometers I turned around. On the way back I took a short break to get some water. Oh, my butt hurts. After that little break it's much easier to ride, except my butt still hurts. That saddle absolutely destroyed it. Oi oi. Come on, that's the lowest gear? Are you kidding me? While I'm climbing this hill, let me share my thoughts on cycling. I like that you got to see nice views, but that's pretty much the only advantage. The biggest downside for me is cars. It's really annoying when some car or truck passes right next to you. Next minus is that my city has a lot of hills, so you are going up and down all the time. And the bike infrastructure is not that great. There are bike lanes, but some are impossible to ride on. And they always put those drains on the edge of the road. And the last thing, you just have to suffer. Maybe that's the point, to arrive at the finish completely dead. But it feels kinda like BDSM. Alright, let's finish the ride. Oh, my shorts stuck to my ass. Wow, I got hello for the first time. Whoa, guys lost the door. At this point I'm not even surprised. Oh, I'm done for today. I decided to walk this bike all the way home. I guess I still have a chance to finish the race, but this ride didn't really give me any more confidence. Alright, the day of marathon is finally here. I got dressed fast and headed to the starting point. As you can see, the weather is awful. Not the best condition, but there is nothing I can do about. When I got there, I was actually surprised. It's my first marathon and I didn't expect so many people. And everyone has a cool bike and outfit. I don't really fit here. Since everything is so serious here, I even had to put a number on my handlebar and wear some chip on my leg. As for food, I brought a huge bottle of water and 3 energy bars. But I messed up with clothes. It was hot the last few days, so I wore a t-shirt and shorts. I'm gonna regret that later. Finally we all gathered at the start. They gave us a short speech and it's almost time to go.
Все, goodbye.
The race officially started, but instead of smooth ride there was an instant traffic jam because of speed bump. I wish you saw my face. I was really enjoying riding in this big group. At first I tried to stick with others like they do in Tour de France to cut the wind, but I forgot I was on a junk bike, so I couldn't keep up with their pace.
Дякую.
I'm glad I put those balls on, totally worth it. Then I spotted this guy and decided to follow him. But even though I was pedaling like crazy, he quickly pulled away. Here I realized it will be tough on this shitty bike. Looks like I will ride alone. Everyone is far away. I kept pedaling for a few more kilometers until I made my first big mistake. I missed the turn and went straight. That's when I regretted not learning the route. I thought there would be more slow riders like me, but I'm here completely alone. Feels like being lost as a kid.
Fuck.
I tried to figure out where everyone is. Luckily, about a kilometer later, I caught up with the group again. It's so hot here, I can barely breathe. I need to catch up to someone. Riding in a group should be easier. Good idea, but it's easier said than done. The longer I rode, the more riders overtook me. After 20 kilometers, I entered a small town called Shcherets. And here I had even more troubles with route. There were so many turns in this town, and each time I was not sure if I was going the right way.
Сюди їхали велосипедисти? Так. Дякую.
Looks like I'm moving in the right direction. That guy helped a bit, but I was still nervous. I have to ride 80 kilometers alone with no experience and motivation.
Добрий день.
Добрий. Надіюся,
Ви знаєте?
Ні. Я надіюся, що ви знаєте.
Ні.
Ну, вроді, прямо, а там побачимо.
I tried to follow this woman, but on the first downhill she left me behind. For the first 20 kilometers I managed to keep the pace of 20 kilometers per hour, but then my legs turned to stone and I gave up. I got too focused on chasing others and forgot this was a marathon, not a sprint. I made just a third of the race and my legs already tired. I kept riding and finally caught up with two guys. When you see someone in front of you, it feels much easier to ride. Maybe that's because there were just fields around and nothing interesting happens, who knows. I dodged some shit, took a sip of water and hoped someone in front of me would stop. I mean, I'm not a pussy to stop first. And then this happened.
Ох, все. Все нормально?
Well, luckily for me, it's finally break time. Got some water, ate 2 energy bars and gave my legs a bit of rest.
Ну, я потихеньку кручу педальки. Я думаю, ви мене точно доженете.
My legs rested a bit, but they still feel like jelly. Gonna take it easy from now. At the 40th kilometer I entered a town called Komarno. It was cool that people with little flags were showing the way, but that was the last time I saw them. Maybe they were in other towns, but I was way too slow to catch up with them. And the road in Komarno was not that great. I really forgot how bad roads can be outside the city. And sometimes I even had to ride standing because my legs were numb from that hard saddle. I kept slowly moving forward until I got to a long straight road. And here wind started blowing me hard in the face.
What's going on with that wind?
So my shoulders hurt, my butt hurt, my legs are going numb and the wind is crazy. The next 7 kilometers were really tough. The wind was blowing hard right into my face. That's when I regretted not bringing a jacket. Because of that wind I had to lean close to handlebar and I was looking up so much that I started seeing my own eyebrows. I don't even know how to explain that. And the worst part, I lost all my motivation. It's very hard to keep going when you know someone could just pick you up in a car at any moment.
I hate that wind. I'm entering some forest. I hope there is no wind.
It's 57th kilometer and another break. Oh, fuck. I don't feel my legs. It felt so good. No wind, birds were singing. For the first time of the ride, I finally relaxed. That was my longest break so far. A whole 15 minutes. Alright, time to suffer again. Even though I rested, I could feel I had no energy left. I already accepted that I will have coke on my arm, but I decided to keep riding anyway. And then I missed another turn. I didn't lose much time, but it was super annoying to check my phone after every turn. The next 20 kilometers were super boring. Nothing was happening at all. Not even one car in sight, just fields. Because of that, time was going really slow. It reminded me when I used to hand out flyers. When you do repetitive stuff, time moves so slow. Also, my back wheel started wobbling a lot. Maybe that's why I was falling behind other riders on the downhills.
Oh my god.
Let's walk a bit. Good idea, I have no energy to pedal anyway. I decided this is the right time to ask my mom to pick me at the finish. Luckily, she said yes. There is no way I could ride another 15 kilometers home. I would rather walk than ride, but I have only 2 hours and 25 kilometers to go. I pedaled for a few kilometers until I reached a highway. I carefully crossed the road and stopped to adjust the saddle because I was sitting too flat. That actually helped. It took some pressure off my butt so my legs didn't go that numb anymore. At 80 kilometers I entered another town. I stopped for a moment to check the route and a girl passed me. I was happy I wasn't alone, so I tried to follow her.
Ага. Я думав, що я останній. Та, прямо.
I didn't catch everything she said, but sounds like she got 2 flat tires. Luckily, no flat tire for me. One of those and I'm out. I followed her for a while, but then I got tired and she left me behind. And here is one of the hardest parts of the race, with steep climbs and fast downhills. No idea why, but going uphill on this bike feels almost impossible. Finally, I made it through that crappy section. At least I'm in some village. Only 15 kilometers left to the finish. I decided no matter what I wouldn't stop. And of course I went the wrong way once again. That's why I hate this race. There are just too many turns.
Твою мать.
Never again I'm doing this shit alone and on such crappy bike.
At least it's warm now. It was so cold before.
I have just 1 hour left to get to the finish line. My watch died, so I had no idea if I would make it on time or not. All I could do was just keep pedaling. Suddenly I felt a new motivation. I knew the finish was close and it was possible to make it in time.
Давай!
And then I saw this.
10 градусів.
Oh man, I was so disappointed. It was the steepest hill of the race, and I had to stay on the bike or I would not make it on time. I used all my energy and slowly started pedaling uphill.
Да, я спотів.
Guys, that's not even funny. At least the hardest part was over. Now I just have to keep moving forward. I had 40 minutes left, so I had to pedal like crazy. But it was very tough. My heart was pounding and lungs felt like they were about to explode. Sometimes I even had to pedal standing because my legs went numb. Honestly, at kilometer 50 I would not believe I would make it that far. One last roundabout and I could almost smell the finish line. No idea how I still had any energy left. It's just 1 kilometer to go. I decided not to check the time. Let it be a surprise whether I make it or not. That last kilometer felt like forever. After every turn I hoped to see the finish, but every time I was disappointed. I was ready to give up and then I saw this. The time is 6:49, meaning I arrived just 10 minutes before the finish closed. If I had a flat tire or rested a bit longer, I would have been disqualified. I hadn't felt that much stress in a long time. So I decided to treat myself with pizza and tree. At the bar it felt like a joke. I met Ukrainian, German and Russian. I snapped a quick photo and finally my pizza arrived. It was the best pizza I ever eaten. I could have stayed there forever. But my mom arrived to pick me up, so it was time to go. I got home, took a shower and passed out. So I finished the marathon last, but at least I finished. The fastest guy finished 4 hours before me. I still can't believe that. I know what you are thinking. Would I really get a tattoo if I didn't finish? Well, I guess we will never know.
Bro, what are you doing?